안녕. Hi guys. Let's review quick on absolute value functions graphing. To graph an absolute value function, start by identifying the vertex. So the first step, as you see on your handout, find the x value of vertex. We set the expression from the inside of the absolute value bars equal to 0 and solve for x. So the first one, we set x minus 4 equals 0. You got x for 4. So 4. What about then y value? Y value is on 0, right? So is 4, 0 is our vertex. Number 2, same thing, 2x plus 6 equals 0. We found x equals negative 3. What about y value? Is 0. So that is the vertex. And let's see one more example so you can find a pattern. Like number 4, you see 3x plus 2 equals 0. X is 2, negative 2 over 3. And what about y value? Is 0, right? So whenever you have nothing added or subtracted after the absolute value, your y value of the vertex is always will be 0. Then what about some other cases, like a number 3 and number 6? Do you see there is a constant adding on number 3 and number 6? It is subtracted from after absolute value bar. So that will be your y value, which is x is 0, y is positive 5. That's your vertex. And number 6, x is a negative 2, y is negative 4. That's your vertex. So that's another way to find your vertex. And let's get it into absolute value function inequality. All right, graphing absolute value inequalities. So the steps to find the vertex is the same as graphing absolute value. There are two things you need to check. One is if the symbol has a equal bar or not. If it doesn't have equal bar, you need to draw the graph as a dashed line, and also find where to shade. So if you have a greater or greater than equal to symbol, it's gonna be above the line. If it's less than or less than equal to, then it will be the below the line. All right, let's try number 3 as an example. So the first step, find our vertex, and 4x plus 6 equals 0, and we're gonna solve for x. So subtract 6 on both sides. 4x equals negative 6. Divide by 4 on both sides. X equals negative 6 over 4, which is negative 3 over 2. So that will be our going to middle low. And of course, our y value for vertex is 0. So 3 over 2, 0. And you can also key that into your x value. You will still get 0 for that y value. And we're gonna go down below. This will be negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, and negative 1, 0, 1. Now let's find each y value. Plug x value into our function, which is a negative 1 plus 6 with the absolute value. So this will give us negative 4 plus 6, which will be positive 2. All right, so this will be 2. And if you plug negative 2, you will have 2 as well. And plug in 0 plus 6. This will give us 6. And when you plug in negative 3, will be 6 as well. What about we plug negative 4? And that will give us negative 16 plus 6, which will be negative 10, become 10. So this will be 10, and the other side will be 10 as well. I plot each coordinate point, and let's see if we're gonna draw this in a dashed line or solid line. Since that inequality doesn't have an equal bar, it will be dashed line. So let me draw. And the other side. All right. Now we need to shade the appropriate reason. Since the inequality is greater than, so it will be above of the line. All right. And there is another way to check the shading reason, and which is choose a point and you're gonna testing that point. If that inequality make true with that point, then you're gonna shade include that chosen point. If not, then you're gonna shade the opposite side. All right, so I'm gonna try 0 0. So 0 greater than absolute value with 4 times 0 plus 6. So 0 is greater than, that will be absolute value with a 6, which is 0 is greater than 6. Is this a true? No, this is not a true, so we're gonna shade the other area. All right. Try one more example, and number 4. So let's find the vertex first. So 2x equals 0. So for x is 0. And our y value for vertex will be 3. So vertex is 0, 3. Going to the middle. And I'm going to put negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, 1, 2, 3. And plug in each x value and find our y value. 2 times of negative 1 absolute value plus 3, that will give negative 2 plus 3, which will be negative 2 plus 3 will be positive 1. So this is a positive 1, the other side will be 1. So if you do next one, 2 times negative 2 plus 3, that will give negative and negative 4 plus 3, which will give us negative 4 plus 3 and negative 1. So negative 1, negative 1. And let me try just put the 3 plus 3, that will be negative absolute value with a 6 plus 3, and will be negative 3, negative 3. All right. This graph, I have a solid line because right here, the inequality is include that equal bar. All right. Which area should we shade? Above or below the lines? Let's try 0, 0 again. So negative absolute value 2 times 0, absolute value plus 3 has to be less or equal to 0. Okay, so 0 is less or equal to, that will be 0 plus 3, which is 0 is less equal to 3. Is made a true statement? Yes, it is. So we're gonna shade this area, which include that point that we chose, 0, 0. Alright guys, now time to try yourself rest of examples. And if you have any question, let me know. Bye. 안녕.